Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. We begin tonight with the threat for severe weather tomorrow. Strong tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, and heavy rain are all possible. I'm going to go ahead and send things over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett for information on how to be prepared. Trevor?
Yeah, Cash, unfortunately, that is exactly right. The forecast has not budged at all. In fact, more ingredients are coming together to indicate to us that a severe weather outbreak is likely through the day tomorrow on Easter Sunday. And I know a lot of folks are getting their anxiety up. A lot of people are getting scared, understandably. But we don't want you to be scared. We just want you to be prepared. So there's some things you can do tonight to make sure you're prepared and stay safe tomorrow. The first thing you can do is make sure everything is outside is secured. But those damaging wind gusts, we don't want things to go flying. Also, take time right now to know where your safe place is. Practice it with the kids. Develop that plan right now. You want to find an interior room away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Tell the kids that and make sure they know where to go. Also, make sure you know how you're going to get those weather alerts tomorrow in the event one is issued for your area. Go ahead and make sure those cell phones and flashlights are ready to go tomorrow just in case the power goes out. Know what county you live in. That's how we're going to pass you along the weather alert, is by telling you what county. So make sure you know what county you're in right now. And of course, we want you to stay informed through the duration of the event. We're going to be here tracking things for you, but I'll have the latest details on what we're expecting coming up in just a little bit. Cash.
Thank you, Trevor. Lowndes County shelters will be open tomorrow for anyone seeking refuge from the severe weather. EMA Director Cindy Lawrence says Caledonia Elementary, New Hope High School, and the Career Technical School on Lindbergh will all be open by at least 2 p.m. Lawrence says shelters will try to comply with CDC guidelines. Everyone is strongly encouraged to wear a mask when you go to the shelter. Now, if you do not have a mask, one will be provided for you. There's also going to be hand sanitizer at all 3 locations. Now, I do also want to let you know there will be no way to charge your cell phones once inside of the shelter, so please charge all phones or technical devices the night before. Developing tonight, Columbus police are investigating 2 different afternoon shootings in the city. Police Chief Fred Shelton says officers responded to a shots fired call around 4 o'clock on 22nd Avenue. Once on scene, they found the body of an African-American male in the street. The victim was transported to Baptist. His condition is unknown at this time. There are no suspects as of now. Police responded to a second shots fired call shortly after that in the 1900 block of 8th Avenue North. The victim of that incident was transported to the hospital by a private vehicle. There also are no suspects as of now. Columbus police are investigating both shootings right now. It's unclear if those are connected to each other. We're going to have details on that as soon as they become available. A man has turned himself in to Louisville police after his alleged involvement in a Friday night shooting. Police say 40-year-old Michael D. Jones from Gulfport, Mississippi, turned himself into police around 1:30 this afternoon. Officers say Jones allegedly shot 23-year-old Texas native Malik Hudson in the parking lot of Ivy Apartments on Friday around 9 p.m. Police say the victim was driving his car trying to exit the parking lot, and after being shot, his car ran off the right side of the road and hit a light pole. Jones then allegedly fled the scene. Hudson was transported to Winston Medical Center, where he was then airlifted to University Medical Center in Jackson for gunshot wounds to the back and the head. Hudson died in the hospital around 2 p.m. today. Officers say the suspect, Michael Jones, is currently under probation with the Mississippi Department of Corrections for felony DUI. Jones has been charged with murder. We're going to have more details on this case as they become available. The newest numbers show another triple-digit growth in Mississippi COVID-19 cases. Today's update shows 173 new positives as of 6 p.m. Friday night. That pushes the total number of cases to more than 2,600. The death toll is also climbing with 11 new fatalities from the virus. For a full breakdown of counties, visit our website at WCBI.com. The U.S. has more than 500,000 confirmed coronavirus cases, with at least 20,000 deaths so far. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio says the nation's largest school system will remain closed for the rest of the school year. But Governor Andrew Cuomo says no decision has been made, and it's not the mayor's call to make alone. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest from New York.
Without question, it's the biggest decision I've ever had to make.
President Trump faces a difficult question: restart the nation's economy or face the prospect of acting too fast and risking lives. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said Saturday he's keeping the school system that serves more than 1 million students closed for the rest of the school year.
The worst mistake we could make is to take our foot off the gas and end up in a situation where this disease had a resurgence and threatened us even more.
The mayor has an opinion in New York City.
Governor Andrew Cuomo fired back, saying no decision has been made. Cuomo says while New Yorkers continue to become infected with the coronavirus, the rate of hospitalization is flattening. But Friday brought another day of close to 800 deaths in the nation's hardest hit state.
Incredible loss and pain.
The numbers are rising around most parts of the country, including Florida.
People have not created that conscious, like, let's keep distance.
Many shoppers in Sacramento, California followed new CDC recommendations, and for some, the advice of loved ones to wear cloth masks in public.
My mom told me I needed to wear a mask, so I went and there was none anywhere, so I had to get creative.
In Texas, Houston's mayor urged people to celebrate Easter at home.
You can walk into a church feeling fine, sit next to some people, embrace them, hug them, shake their hands, and now you have infected 4, 5, 6, 8 other people.
On Sunday, countless congregations will be bringing services to the masses online as they pray for a better tomorrow. Michael George, CBS News.
The White House issued a statement responding to a New York Times story saying President Trump had earlier warnings about the dangers of the coronavirus. The statement said in part, quote, while the media and Democrats refused to seriously acknowledge this virus in January and February, President Trump took bold action to protect Americans and unleash the full power of the federal government to curb the spread of the virus, expand testing capacities, and expedite vaccine development when we had no true idea the level of transmission or asymptomatic spread, end quote. Well, the number of deaths due to COVID-19 broken down by race is shocking. As it continues to rip through the nation, African-American communities have been infected and killed at a disproportionate rate right here in Mississippi. Our DeAndrea Turner has more on the story.
Streets empty, businesses close, as the people in Oxford, like many others across the country, continue to stay home. But for those deemed essential workers, like Latasha Burton, staying at home is not an option, and it's scary.
I'm the breadwinner. I have to be the one that, take the risk, because if I don't, I won't be able to feed my children.
Data from the Mississippi Department of Health shows that the coronavirus is disproportionately killing the Black community with over 70% of deaths. African Americans only make up less than 40% of the state's population.
We're also seeing more than 50% of the deaths occurring in African Americans. This is troubling, obviously.
If history is our teacher, then the most vulnerable continues to bear the brunt of this virus.
But the fact that we don't have equal access to these services, we don't have equal access to affordable care, we don't get the same response when we walk into a doctor's office or an emergency room that white people do. It explains the reason that we are sicker overall, and that we are sicker in this particular case with this virus.
He believes the only way things will change is to include the ones who are affected in the decision making.
It's not just about whether you have an MD or a PhD. It's about whether you really understand what the problems are. And I think the people who best understand what the problems are people who are grappling with them.
People like Burton are still going to work. She wears protective gear like this every day as she faces the uncertainty of the virus just to provide for her family.
Us to have to go out here every day but not knowing it.
Researchers also point to the number of minorities who are working essential jobs in grocery stores and fast food restaurants as aides in healthcare and janitorial services. Their point of contact with members of the community may be higher and more hazardous. Well, what started out as a way to pass the time is now a way to make a quick dime. More on two young entrepreneurs when we come back. Stay with us.
10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. If you plan to make a trip to the grocery store or the drugstore, the CDC recommends wearing a face mask. For two local girls, what was once a way to pass the time is now a quick way to make a dime. Our Savannah Gato has more on the story.
Since the coronavirus has been going on, I've been trying to help the community a little bit by giving away some masks to some citizens and also selling masks for money to get my supplies together.
Kirsten and Kaylee Burnett spend part of each day at the sewing machine. This is the result. Masks measured, cut, and sewn from scratch.
Well, my part of the whole thing that we're doing is I basically had to like put together all the stuff, lay it out, and just build it up so she can sew it. And we're trying to help the community by doing this.
They use a variety of fabrics and patterns so anyone can wear them at any time. The sisters are also helping small businesses by buying fabric locally.
I think it's helpful to, like, since the social distancing, so some people don't like want to do it, as you can tell, but I think the mask will actually help like keep all of their germs to themselves.
During this pandemic, the duo is happy to help in any way they can.
When everybody like calls us, we'll either meet them places or they'll come to our house, like if we know them like that, or we'll just ship them to them.
A mask takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Then Kirsten and Kaylee are on to the next one.
Right now, the money they make is going back into their business, helping with fabric costs. For more information on this business, you can visit our website at WCBI.com.
We want to remind you with the threat for severe weather tomorrow, in the event we have a tornado warning, this is how you can watch our live stream. Of course, you can get us here on CBS, also on the CW and MyMS. You can also find our live stream on Facebook and on our website and the mobile app. That's free for Apple and Android and at WCBI.com/live. I'll tell you exactly what we can expect coming up right after this.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We are mostly dry out there right now. We've got a couple of showers off to the north and west. Those are going to be coming in here over the next few hours, but temperatures for the most part already cooling down. We're 55 in Columbus, 56 in Eupora. We're still 65 in Tupelo, but everybody tonight is going to be on their way down into those mid-50s. 56 for the low here in the Golden Triangle. And as I mentioned, a couple of showers rumbling through here. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two as well. The good news is we are not expecting any severe weather overnight tonight. So rest easy, rest assured, get a good night's sleep. You are not going to have to worry about any type of severe weather overnight tonight. Tomorrow, though, that's when we're going to have the problem. 75 for the high. Severe storms through the day. Can't rule out some tornadoes, gusty winds, and large hail anytime from lunchtime on into the evening. So let me take a look at the severe weather threats. We've actually bumped these up quite a bit. We've now got a tornado threat at a high category. Been a while since we've seen these threats this high, just to give you an idea of how serious of a situation this could be. Hail and flooding also high. We've also bumped up the threat for gusty winds up to a very high category, as we're thinking we could see gusts anywhere from 70 to 80 miles an hour, even in just a general severe thunderstorm. So let me walk you through this hour by hour of what we are expecting. We're going to start out with some showers overnight tonight. As I mentioned, can't rule out some thunder. No severe weather expected overnight tonight. So as I mentioned, go to bed, get you some sleep. You don't have to worry about that anytime soon. But as you wake up on Sunday, we are going to see even some more showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder out there. And then we're going to get our first batch of showers and storms in here. This is 11 a.m. Notice we've got some heavier thunderstorms rolling through here. These could be part of the problem that we have to deal with, some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of small hail. This is really not the worst of it, though. The worst round is going to come later in the afternoon. We're talking 1 o'clock. That's what we're looking at right now. You can see this line of storms. This is the line we're concerned about for the tornadoes, some of which could be strong and violent and long tracks. So obviously this is a concern for us. Any of these supercells have the potential to produce those tornadoes if they form. Now obviously we can't tell exactly where they're going to pop up. Futurecast has one over the Golden Triangle and one in northern Monroe County. It's not to say that's what's going to be impacted, but really those could fire up anywhere. And the fact that Futurecast is showing the storms this strong is definitely a concern, definitely something we're going to have to watch carefully through the day tomorrow, and I hope you will as well. More storms into the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour. Those two could produce some tornadoes and very strong gusty winds. And then we're going to be dry out for a little bit. Another round, though, of showers and storms rolling through here after sunset. By midnight, hopefully that will start to get out of here and leave us dry as we start the work week. So here's a look at a product we call storm spin potential. And basically what this is an indication of the ingredients in the atmosphere. The brighter the colors, where you see the pinks and the purples, that's where you see the more ingredients for those storms. So anytime you see these purples and pinks, that's an indication of where we're going to see some of that severe weather. So you see plenty of those ingredients up to the Highway 82 corridor and then eventually all the way up, basically encompassing the entire area. So that goes to say anybody has the risk to see some of those damaging storms through the day tomorrow. Tornadoes certainly not out of the question. Wind and hail also likely. Any tornadoes that do form have the potential to be strong and violent. We invite you to download the WCBI News app. We'll have the latest forecast and information there. Also, weather alerts in the palm of your hand. Fortunately, though, for the rest of the week, we're looking much drier and sunnier. Highs only in the 60s.
Coming up, we check back in with a local meadery that's developing their own hand sanitizer. Stay with us. Welcome back. Last weekend, we told you about a Tupelo winemaker who is converting her business to produce hand sanitizer to battle the coronavirus. WCBI's Chad Groening reports that the production is in full swing and business is booming.
The Still at Queens Reward Meadery on McCullough Boulevard is up and running, producing alcohol at a high enough temperature required for hand sanitizer. It goes through the process, winding through the pipes and coming out here. Owner Jerry Carter says there has been a high demand.
Well, we knew there was a need, but we did not realize the extent of the need until we got up and running. We have had, our phone has been ringing off the hook, and that is not an exaggeration.
Carter says once the 4 to 5 hour distilling process is finished, she adds a couple of other ingredients.
Add hydrogen peroxide and a little bit of glycerin just to keep it from drying your hands out too bad. And so it's just real simple. It doesn't smell fancy. It's just a basic recipe.
Once she has the proper blend, it is time to put the new hand sanitizer in plastic bottles for sale. Carter's been able to call back 2 of her employees who had been laid off. Chris Wells has been working here since October.
I think it's amazing, the fact that they went to the trouble of finding the steel and the expense of finding the steel and getting it up and running and figuring out the best way to make everything and package it. It's been a process, but I think it's amazing, and I love it. I'm glad to be out of my house actually doing something.
Hannah Blankenship is a Sotelo school teacher who has worked for Queens Reward Meadery as a second job for more than a year. With classes canceled, she can put in more time here.
I kind of do it for fun because it's a really fun job to have. It's just got a really good family environment. With all of this that's going on, they've been really great with calling us in, and I know I was sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, so it's really nice to have something to do. If I was teaching right now, I wouldn't be getting all these hours in, so it's really nice to have that off and then have something else to do.
After the hand sanitizer has been completely processed and bottled, this is what you will purchase when you come here to the Queens Reward Meadery. An 8-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer that should last you a good long while. And Carter says they intend to make the hand sanitizer for the foreseeable future.
Hopefully it won't be the main business, which is what it is right now, because I'm ready for all this to go away just like everybody else is. But we'll make it as long as people need it. We're happy to keep making it.
Chad Groening, WCBI News, Tupelo.
Queens Reward Meadery is selling an 8-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer for $8, but if you provide your own container, they sell it for 75 cents an ounce, which will save you $2 on every 8 ounces you purchase. Well, when we come back, Courtney has more in sports. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Mississippi State women's basketball officially has a new head coach. Sports anchor Courtney Robb has the full details.
Cash, Hail State Hoops makes it official. Nikki McCray-Penson is the newest head coach of Mississippi State women's basketball. MSU Athletics making the official announcement on Twitter this morning. McCray-Penson comes to Starkville, finishing this past season as the 2020 CUSA Conference Coach of the Year, replacing former 8-year head coach Vic Schaefer. The new woman in charge also has quite the resume. Here's a better look. McCray-Penson served as an assistant coach under South Carolina's Dawn Staley for 10 years. Her experience in the SEC goes well beyond that, playing for Tennessee and Pat Summitt, becoming a 2-time SEC Player of the Year. McCray eventually moved on to sit on 5 different rosters in the WNBA, becoming a 3-time All-Star. And to cap it all off, was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. McCray-Penson will have her introductory press conference on Zoom for members of the media at noon Central on Monday.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Trevor will have a full look at weather.
Well, folks, it's been a while since we've had to go through a major severe weather situation like what we are expecting tomorrow. Unfortunately, all the cards are on the table, all the boxes are checked. It's looking like it could be a dangerous day. Tornadoes certainly possible. Definitely at least 1 or 2 expected across the area. Certainly possible that we see more. Those tornadoes will be violent and long tracked. Also, wind and hail anytime between noon and 10 p.m. in the evening. So certainly be prepared and be alert through the day tomorrow. The good news is, after tomorrow, the weather clears up. We're going to have a really nice week. Mostly sunny skies with temperatures back down into the mid-60s.
All right, thank you, Trevor. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.